Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. We're doing a special edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. It's brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We are live at the Cal State University San Marcos 2025 Social Mobility Symposium. The Spotlight Show is the longest-running community podcast. We are now in our 19th year. I'm happy to sit there and chat with Georj Lewis. He's the president of Clayton State University. How you doing, Georj?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for coming in. How long have you been president?
I've been president at Clayton State for 2 years.
Okay.
I've been in the president's seat a total of 6. So this is my second presidency.
And where is Clayton State?
Clayton State, south of Atlanta,
Okay.
about 15 miles. And so we're one of the metro Atlanta areas. And we're the only institution that grants 4-year degrees that's south of I-20 in Atlanta, if you're familiar with Atlanta.
I know Buckhead.
Yes, other side of town.
Other side, right, exactly. Are you from Atlanta?
No, I'm actually from Pennsylvania, but I've been in Georgia since 2002 and love being there. And Atlanta, we selected to live there, and it's a great place, so I'm looking forward to spending time in Atlanta.
That's great. What were you doing in Pennsylvania? Were you going to college there?
Yes, I went to school at Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania way back when, and I went to school there, worked there, was an athlete, but family always wanted to move south, and we really came south.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
And that's what brought you, the family brought you here?
No, actually, we wanted to do something different and kind of stepped out on faith and ended up in Statesboro, Georgia was our first stop and really solidified my interest and actually my spouse's interest in education. I come from a family of educators.
Nice.
Mother, father, grandmother, brother, wife, daughter.
In the K-12 space?
K-12.
In the college space? On the K-12.
I'm the only one that's in the higher ed space. But so it's in my blood.
I was just going to say, it's in your blood. Talk about the importance of social mobility.
It is such an important, I'm going to call it outcome.
Yeah.
And so for us at Clayton State, social mobility is the outcome of what access to quality education with support, the outcome that it can have on students, and more so upward social mobility. When our students graduate, it changes their lives and their families' lives for generations, particularly based on the average Clayton State student is 24 years old. They work, family adjusted gross income, less than $29,000 a year. So when our students graduate and start working in their career, right. They're doubling and tripling their adjusted gross income. And it's not just income. It's, that provides the opportunity for flexibility, the ability to move, healthcare, all the items that we identify when we talk about success in a community. They have access to them once they cross that stage and get that degree.
Well, and I imagine as well, we talked about this quite a bit on our podcast. It's nice when those opportunities are given to those students that actually stay in the area. We all want the students to say, hey, listen, if you want to spread your wings, knock yourself out. Yeah. But boy, we can certainly use you here. Talk about how important that is.
Well, we, and I'm glad you asked that question. I mentioned that we were the institution that was south of I-20 that provides those 4-year degrees. 90% of our students are from the Atlanta metro area, and 90% of them, once they graduate, they stay and work in the Atlanta metro area. So an investment in our students at Clayton State is an investment in the community and the economy. And so it is, so we are that anchor institution in that region, and our folks stay around. So we're proud of that.
People would be so jealous of those numbers. That is absolutely phenomenal. And I think we talk about that quite a bit when we chat with. I think Mark Cafferty is in the audience there. Mark is the regional EDC president and CEO, and we want our wonderful students to stay in Southern California to contribute to our economics and so forth. So what do you do, George, at Clayton State University that sort of ties into the social mobility? Are there certain strategies? Are there tactics? Are the students aware of it?
Yeah, we just launched a new strategic plan in April of 24. And the foundation of that plan is social mobility. Our mission is social mobility. We transform lives through teaching, scholarship, and service. And so it's getting the leadership right and the institution on board. And the plan is evolving where now students are starting to have some of those same conversations. Our faculty and staff understand it. Every decision that we make, how will this have an impact? Is it a barrier? Does this fee create a challenge? Is this a major that we should be considering? Because we want the major to be high demand and to provide opportunities, because it's a big investment for our students. So we want to make sure we're providing opportunities that are going to most likely lead to success. And so it's thinking like that. It's actions like that. One specific program that I'll mention is called the Launchpad Leadership Academy. So it's best described as a program that's housed in our College of Information and Mathematical Sciences. The dean has developed a ecosystem that supports student success that consists of 20 industry partners that they work with our students. There's mentoring, there's scholarships, there's a big symposium, and there's internship opportunities. And we invite some of the companies to campus to engage with our students so they're more familiar with how to interact with a CEO or how to interact with an executive around the table. And again, you talk about social mobility. We want that transition to the professional world to be as seamless as possible. And the best way to get it, to get experiences, you have to have it. So we try to create an opportunity for them to get that experience so they're comfortable talking to folks around the table in the suits.
Yeah, you're reading my mind, which usually there's nothing in it. But today there is. And Georj Lewis.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
Yeah, you're reading my mind, which usually there's nothing in it, but today there is, and you're just spot on. That was my next question. We're chatting with Georj Lewis. He's the president of Clayton State University. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You listen to a special edition of the Spotlight on the Community Show. We're the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, just doing great things for 6 decades in San Diego County. We're honored to be live at the Cal State University San Marcos 2025 Social Mobility Symposium. What a setup you have. And I was just going to say, that was my next question. How do you guys link with businesses? You answered it. And I love this, Launchpad Leadership Academy. Talk about the importance as it ties, everything you mentioned ties so beautifully into your social mobility strategy. But getting people connected, my associate producer, Brandon Joe, is the most successful young under 21, he's 21 now though, networker in the history of the world. Because most people don't like to do that stuff, right?
I might need to hire him.
100%. Talk about how important it is when you get, your students to understand that is critical. And I'll tell you, the CEOs love meeting you. Do they not? Correct.
Yes, they absolutely do. And I mentioned the comfort level earlier, but, I'll give you a little more formal answer. Each student that graduates has to complete some experiential learning. And that could be shadowing. That could be an internship. That could be an apprenticeship. It's one of those things that help and ease the transition. We graduate smart, intelligent, bright students. But sometimes the professional environment is a little different. And we want to reduce that learning curve as much as possible, which makes our employers happy as well. And so they like engaging with us because if they can engage with us now, it's an investment for them and their companies. And so they end up hiring a good quality person that understands their culture and understands what the expectations are, which people talk about soft skills and essentials. Well, I'm going to call them essential, not soft. They are essential. Most folks don't have problems with the content at work. It's with understanding what it means to operate in that environment.
Yeah. Can we photocopy you about 4 billion times and have, a sort of a satellite of Clayton State University in every place? This is just so near and dear to Cloudcast Media, our hearts. We work very closely with a group called the Classroom of the Future Foundation. I've been honored to be involved in it. It hits everything you're just talking about. And I think that's great. How does the community embrace this? They must love what you're doing.
Yes, the community is very, very important. Again, I mentioned as if we're not the only show in town, but we are the main show that's in that county. And so we have a direct connection with our Chamber of Commerce, with all of our leaders, with our school district, with our Clayton County School District. Because if your school district is successful, then that success transitions. So we work together with intentional programs, whether it's preparing students to think about careers in healthcare or think about education. So that is very, very important. And our students stay. I mentioned 90% of them stay in that region, and they really come from a few counties that are connected to Clayton State. So it's a true partnership where there's benefits. Number one, for the student, and then the institution and the community all thrive if we work together. So the community is significant.
What you described is this, I think every single class in every single high school setting, for that matter, maybe even middle school, definitely college should be doing. And without you calling it, maybe you do have a call, calling it Relationship 101. You know it. You're getting the kids that understanding that when it comes down to it, it's about relationships.
Yes, it is.
And it's the person you know. And if you have not met the person or do this, talk about how important that is. I have an alum that always mentions it's not always who knows or who you know. Yeah. It's who knows you as well. That's right.
And so that connection and those relationships, whether it's with our alumni or folks in our community and business and industry, we want them to know our students. We want them to know us. And so we stay in the community. And it's not just about what we can get, it's also what we can give. And so we do things intentional to connect with the community, inviting them to campus, having events on campus. We have actually free income tax preparation at below a certain income threshold. So there's lots of things the institute. It's part of what we do. You have to be connected.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I can talk about this for about 5 more hours, but I don't think you have 5 more hours, and nor do my colleagues here. I will guarantee you we're going to have you back on my elongated spotlight show on that. What can our listeners do, our Spotlight listeners do to support your efforts, or maybe just social mobility as a whole?
I would say have high expectations of, people who they interact with who are thinking about what the next steps of their life might be, or what their career might be. There's lots of avenues that could lead towards success. And so, I understand as a college president that you don't have to go to a 4-year institution to be successful. I really do understand that. However, what I will say, the data is pretty clear. Your opportunities will be greater. Your career options will be greater. Your ability to be flexible and move. Your income over a lifetime will be greater. Research in the University System of Georgia, if you have one of our degrees, the amount or the gap is 1.4 million in the positive to the person who has a 4-year degree over a lifetime. So there's lots of positive data points. No, it's not necessarily for everyone, but it is an outstanding option, and the data will identify that. I always encourage people to, kind of make sure you listen to where you're getting that advice from, because most folks who I know who own companies or are major players in different organizations, they're recommending their kids and their friends to go to college. So I have to say that because I'm a college president, but I know there's other ways.
Yeah. Well, Georj Lewis, listen, thank you so much for the content. I will promise you, you'll be getting pinged by us. We're going to want you to have come back on our show. We'll probably have to do it remotely because you are in Atlanta, unless you happen to be in San Diego, taking a vacation with your family or whatever.
It's kind of nice out here.
Yeah, and doing that as well. But can't thank you enough for your great content, what you're doing at Clayton State University, just setting up a generation of students that are going to thrive in your area for many years to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to a special edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. Now in our 19th year, we're live at Cal State University San Marcos 2025 Social Mobility Symposium. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.